5 mysteries that defy explanation. Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Here are 5 mysteries that defy explanation. 5. The Watseka Wonder. Creepy seems to be the preferred type of mystery, and the Watseka Wonder falls into that category. In 1877, a young girl from Illinois, Lawrence Venom, suddenly began suffering seizures that caused her to faint and stay unconscious for hours at a time. Soon she began staying unconscious for days. Every time she awoke, she would tell her family that she communicated with the spirit world while she was asleep. Doctors could not find a medical explanation for her seizures and suggested to her family that Lawrence be committed to an insane asylum. Lawrence's family were on the verge of sending her to the nearest asylum when a man named Asad Roth appeared on their doorstep. He told Lawrence and her family that his daughter Mary had suffered the same type of seizures and that they had started when she was an infant. Mary had also been sent to an asylum and she died there in 1865. Roth refused to accept that his daughter was insane and began studying spiritualism. He eventually started believing that she had been a medium, with the ability to speak to ghosts. Roth convinced Lawrence to let a spiritualist physician examine her. During the examination, Lawrence went into a trance, and when she regained consciousness, she identified herself as Mary Roth. 4. The Sleeping Girl of Turville. Ellen Sadler fell asleep one day in 1871 and didn't wake up for 9 years. Before this happened, Ellen would often suffer intense spells of drowsiness and fatigue. Doctors did not know what to make of it, and Ellen eventually suffered a series of seizures before falling into her deep sleep. When people in the area of Turville, where Ellen lived with her family, heard the sleeping girl, they began turning up in their numbers, most of them with money to donate. People started arriving from across the country to catch a glimpse of the anomaly. Her mother fed her by mouth, even though Ellen remained asleep, giving her port, tea, and milk. Anne Fruin, Ellen's mother, died in 1880 and Ellen woke up 5 months later at the age of 21. She remembered nothing of the 9 years she was asleep. 6 years later she married and had 5 children, becoming every bit as normal as the family surrounding her. All these years later, people are still speculating over this mystery, with some believing Ellen suffered from narcolepsy, while others believe her mother drugged her for the purpose of gaining donations from visitors. Some are convinced it was an elaborate hoax. Whatever the case may be, the mystery of the sleeping girl of Turville lives on in folklore and urban legends. 3. The Boy Who Saw Ghosts. In 1993, Denise Jones was cooking dinner for her family one evening when she heard her 5-year-old son, Michael, screaming in terror from his bedroom. Dropping everything, she ran to his room to find him curled up on the bed, shaking and screaming. Denise tried to calm him down and asked him to explain what had happened. With tears streaming down his cheeks, the boy told his mother that a weird-looking man had appeared in his room, smiled at him, and touched his shoulder before vanishing. Denise finally succeeding in getting Michael to calm down, and eventually they both forgot the incident. A couple of weeks later, Denise and Michael were at her parents' home, and suddenly Michael started screaming again. When the adults came running, Michael told him that the man in a picture on the wall was the same one he had seen in his room. It turned out the man was Denise's grandfather, who had been dead for 17 years. Michael had never seen a picture of his grandfather before. Soon Michael started claiming that evil spirits wanted to drag him in hell and that the shadow man wouldn't leave him alone. 2. Beast of Camberwell Cemetery. No mystery list would be complete without at least one cryptid sighting. In October 1996, a man took a shortcut through the Camberwell Old Cemetery on his way to see a friend. He was walking along, not a care in the world, when something suddenly grabbed him by the arm and unceremoniously threw into the ground. Looking up, he saw a huge creature with dark fur and a head resembling that of a German shepherd growling over him. The creature then simply turned around and ran off. 8 years later, 2 people were walking alongside the cemetery when they heard a growl. Looking around to see whether an animal was close by, they noticed a tree violently shaking in the corner of a cemetery. It looked to them as though something or someone was trying to rip out the tree by its roots. They did not stay to find out what it was. Instead, they ran away as quickly as they could. The creature was never seen again, but continues to fascinate those who love mysteries. The initial description of half-dog, half-man has many believing that a werewolf was terrorizing the cemetery at the time of the sightings, including cryptid researcher Andy McGrath, who believes the creature could have been the real deal. 1. Real-life horror story. Mysteries are often fun distractions to mull over and argue about. But sometimes a real-life mystery hits so close to home that the only thing you want to do is hold your loved ones close and never let them go. The world is filled with evil people who in the blink of an eye can change your life forever. On 11 February 1927, 4-year-old William Gaffney was having a fun time playing with friends, a 3-year-old and 12-year-old boy in the hallway of the Brooklyn apartment building he lived in. The older boy went inside his apartment for a couple of minutes, and when he returned, both William and the 3-year-old boy had vanished. After a search, the 3-year-old was found on the roof of the apartment building, but William was nowhere to be seen. The remaining toddler was questioned, and he simply said that the boogeyman had taken William. Later that same day, a streetcar motorman by the name of Joseph Meehan saw an old man trying to calm down a young boy. The boy was crying hysterically and said over and over that he wanted to go home to his mother. Later, during the investigation into William's disappearance, Meehan realized William was the 4-year-old he had seen that day. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.